So the six thinking hats is a technique that helps people take on different perspectives when they're faced with a certain type of challenge, or when someone is trying to solve something. It can do a few things pretty quickly. You can look at problems and decisions systematically. It can allow people to think more clearly and objectively. It can minimize conflict between a group of people or the meeting, the members of the meeting that you might have involved. You can make thorough evaluations of the meeting itself, and you can confidently find the best solutions, I think, for whatever it is that you're trying to solve. So it really simplifies thinking by putting the focus on just one viewpoint at a time, and it can really make a discussion more organized by doing this. So how do we use these thinking hats, or for the purpose of our presentation, I'll be referring to them as helmets. When you wear a helmet, like I said before, you're just temporarily assuming a thinking role at just one at a time. So you're able to really separate thinking into 6 different categories for analyzing and making decisions easier, and you can resolve matters objectively, easily, and thoroughly, and maybe even correctly at times. And these helmets are about direction. So typically it's what is going to happen from here. We don't want to focus too much on the past of what has happened. We just want to focus on the direction moving forward of what we're trying to solve. So I'll start with the white helmet. In short, this one is just about the facts. So here we're looking at data and all the information that you might have laid out in front of you. Specifically, we're looking at objective data. So what are the facts and figures saying? What do the numbers look like? We want to look at what's in front of us in a natural and objective way. So with information or facts, we want to know what we need, what we might be looking for in the future, what hasn't worked in the past and why. So the key objective here is to bring forth a logical but neutral solution, really, to stimulate further thinking and exploration of whatever it is you're trying to solve. With the red helmet, put into one word, this one is about feelings, or maybe emotions. So one of the interesting things about this helmet is that there's no judgment or prejudice when sharing or listening to different people's points of view. So sometimes you might have a gut feeling about something that you want to act on in a hunch. This is when you would bring that up. So unlike the previous, with the white hat where we're looking at, or the white helmet where we're looking at data and numbers, here we're just focusing on your intuition. There's also no justification to why you feel a certain way. So if I don't think that this plan is going to work, I don't have to back it up with anything. I just don't like it, and that's okay when we're wearing the red helmet. So we want to ask ourselves a couple of questions. What or how do you feel about the situation that's in front of you? How do you feel about the options that are available to you? What don't you like about it? What is your intuition? What is your gut feeling telling you? That's the type of discussion that you'd want to have while wearing the red helmet. The green helmet, this one looks at creativity in a nutshell. So generating new ideas and change moving forward. When you're wearing this helmet, We're not too worried about being controlled by rules or limitations. We just want ideas, fresh ideas, new things. We'll worry about logistics or financial restraints with a different helmet or perspective. So what are the possibilities moving forward? What could be the alternatives to what's being presented? We also might want to modify or improve some suggested ideas. That's all going to be talked about or discussed when we're wearing the green helmet. With the yellow helmet, here we're looking at benefits or positive views of whatever it is you're discussing. So we want to encourage people to discuss things in a positive way, have a positive way of thinking, even for people who might be critical a lot of times. So it's positive and it's constructive at the same time. And the main goal here is to move through obstacles so that we can find a solution in a realistic way. So therefore, we're wanting to avoid getting caught up in more pessimistic thoughts. We just want to focus on, again, the positives of what's being presented. So what are the benefits of each option? What solutions do we think are going to work? What's the best case scenario? That's what we're kind of talking about when we're wearing the yellow helmet. With the black helmet, we're looking at risks for the most part. So this helmet represents caution, what might not work, what's wrong with the idea or the suggestion that's laid out in front of you. It points out what doesn't fit, what might not work if we move forward with this idea, or what's wrong with it in general. So with this helmet, it can be kind of easy to overuse it at times. While it might point out the bad stuff, which is helpful at times, it also might protect us though from any flaws in the design or the idea. It might protect us from wasting resources. So there are some benefits to having this point of view. You just want to be careful not to be wearing it for too long. We also might want to avoid bringing any harmful emotions that might magnify the problem. So again, what are the risks involved, and what are we really getting ourselves into? What solutions won't work moving forward? What's the worst case scenario involved? And the last helmet is the blue one, the blue helmet, and this is the helmet that takes on the biggest role of all six. This one focuses on the process altogether, the whole, the big picture. It has a strategic role, and it looks at the situation, in a broader sense. It asks for summaries, conclusions, decisions. There's action plans made here. So this is when things are kind of starting to wrap up with whatever it is that you're presenting or trying to figure out. So we're looking at the next steps involved. Where are we going from here? What sort of thinking is needed? So again, this is about the process. So the person that's typically wearing the blue helmet or hat, is trying to also, have a sense of control in a way over the discussion. Just saying, okay, for now we're going to be talking about the risks involved. This is where we're going to be wearing the black hat or helmet. So we, whoever's wearing the blue helmet has to kind of know what sort of thinking is needed in that moment just to kind of facilitate the discussion. And it really just lays out the overall plan, I think. And, there might be some moment-to-moment instructions, but altogether the blue helmet or the blue hat is going to keep things moving at a nice pace, and in the end it's going to wrap everything up all together. So those are the 6 helmets. We've used it a couple of times at the Floberg Center, and I think that it's been really helpful in moving a discussion along, and it's been it's kept discussions nice and organized, and it really helps looking back on the notes that we've had, because it's all just so nice and organized and neat, and you could see, here's all the risks, here's all the positives, here's, with this hat or helmet, all the new, ideas that we've come up with. So it's a really helpful tool to use, and I would recommend everyone trying it at least once.